Hey everyone, this is Jay, also known as jaynemesis, over at eToro.com, where I trade as a popular investor, and this is our vlog number 5. Two things I want to cover today. The first is talking very briefly about my copy block that is in force at the moment. Basically, I was copy blocked over the weekend for hitting a risk score of 7 for a short period of time. I have since brought my risk score down, and you should be able to copy me again very soon, hopefully. eToro do have some slightly different restrictions in place during the really volatile market conditions at the moment, but unfortunately, my portfolio at that period in time was just slightly outside of those restrictions. So that meant that I didn't get the exception applied to me, and I was copy blocked as a result. But I've reduced my risk score a little bit since then, and it shouldn't be a problem going forward. So everything should be back to normal pretty soon. The main point of this video is to talk about the elephant in the room, which is adding funds to my eToro account. Any of you who copy numerous other popular investors may already have seen this coming. Several popular investors have already done this and deposited additional funds onto their account. I'm going to try and explain briefly why it's happening, explain my approach to it, and the two different courses of actions that you will potentially need to take depending on your circumstances, and how I'm going to be communicating it and handling everything going forward. So to start out, I will explain why I'm doing this and why every other, well, not every other, why most popular investors are also adding funds to their account. So eToro has made some long-awaited changes to the popular investor program. They've been changing things from pay structure and a few other bits and bobs. But the things that apply to me directly and thus to you is that they are creating a new tier above Elite, which will be the new highest tier on eToro. This tier will probably be called Elite Pro. Obviously, all of this is still subject to change, as eToro hasn't actually released all of this information publicly yet, but I did check and I am apparently okay to tell you these things. So to qualify for the top tier, you need to have at least $10 million of AUM. As far as I'm aware, there's about 4 or 5 popular investors on eToro who qualify for that. I am one of them. On top of this, you obviously need to comply with the usual restrictions that come with being a popular investor, to do with risk score and things like that, and accountability and public profiles and all of those sorts of things. You will also now need $50,000 in your account on eToro to be an Elite Pro popular investor. Any of you who watch my streams regularly, or even in some of the previous vlogs I've done here on YouTube, you will see that I currently have around $40,000 in my account on eToro. That means that I need to increase how much I have in there, and that is essentially why I am increasing the amount of money. Just quickly to touch on the other changes that are happening regarding my tier of popular investor. The payment structure is changing, so I will now continue receiving the 2% of AUM per year, which is paid monthly. That hasn't changed. But there will now also be a bonus on top of 0.5% of AUM per year, also paid monthly, but only on months where you qualify it. And in order to qualify for it, you must grow your AUM by at least 1% in that month. This, I think, is the most likely part to potentially still change a little bit and be tweaked before this all kind of comes into effect, which should be in a month or so's time. So, take it with a grain of salt. But the general gist of it and the idea of it is to try and align the incentives of popular investors with our copiers and eToro themselves a little bit better. So obviously, if you're growing your AUM, you're doing that in one of three ways. You're either getting more copiers, you're getting your copiers to deposit more funds in copying you, or you are generating profit on the AUM that you currently have. So essentially, those are the 3 ways that you can increase your AUM, and obviously those 3 things are good for basically all 3 parties. So that's kind of the idea behind it. The other thing that's changing is that Elite Pro Popular investors will not receive the $1,000 fixed amount per month anymore, which is understandable, to be honest. So I guess on to the most important bit, which is what you guys need to do if you are copying me currently. So there's two options here. Option one is that you add funds in the same proportion that I am adding. Since I am adding $20,000, you would need to add 50% of whatever the balance, the total value of your copy in me is currently. It's important to say currently because if you invested $200 at the start and that's since grown to $400, then that means you need to add an extra $200, not an extra $100. So that is important to bear in mind. I will be adding my funds on the 1st of July, and I will not be investing it for 12 days. So you'll have 12 days within which to deposit and make the changes to your account that you need to. So yeah, option one is to also deposit funds, 50% of what you currently have invested, and that would match mine, and thus your portfolio would stay synchronized. When you do this, it's very important that you copy new trades with that additional money that you're putting into your account. If you copy open trades, then you will have a disproportionately large weighting towards positions that I currently have open, and a disproportionately small weighting to the positions that I'm opening in the future with the new funds that have been deposited. The second option is to simply uncopy me and then copy me again at any point after the 1st of July, after I have deposited my additional funds. This, of course, does come with a fee, essentially. It's a spread fee, so you would be paying roughly 0.5% for the privilege of doing this. There's really no way around this. I actually spent quite a lot of time talking to eToro and seeing if there was a way that I could deposit funds into currently open trades and things like that. I also contemplated closing all of the positions in the portfolio to flatten out the account, but that essentially does the same thing. I'd still need to reopen them. I'd still incur all of the spread fees for you. So I believe that what I've settled on here is still the best option. If you are uncopying and then copying again, then you should copy open trades. So just to be very clear, I have boldened these in these two options in the post that is on eToro that you can also read about this, or on my blog on my website at jaynemesis.com. Of course, in theory, there is a third option. The third option is that you could do nothing. If you do nothing, then essentially your portfolio will become desynced because all of your funds would currently be invested in the current positions I have, and until I close those positions, it would not be able to resync with my account and proportionally put that money towards the new trades. So this could take perhaps up to a year. It really depends on how long I keep all of those positions open. So this is really not recommended. If you're watching this, then you're informed, and that means you should take one of the other two steps. It would definitely be better to do either of the other two steps than to do nothing. A few things, kind of housekeeping things, I guess, in terms of what I'm doing to try and make this as easy as possible, and my reasoning behind doing it the way I'm doing it. First of all, so as I said, I'll be adding the funds on the 1st of July, and I will not be investing those funds until the 13th of July. This gives you 12 days to add the funds, to move them between your bank accounts, to do whatever it is that you need to do in order to make sure that you are in the correct position by the 13th of July, ready for me to start using those funds. I will not be investing any of the funds that I have added for those 12 days. And again, that's to make sure that all of you have plenty of time to get all of your ducks in a row and have everything set up and synchronized with the copy of me, with my portfolio. Another thing is that I will be providing weekly reminders. This includes after depositing the funds. I will still remind people, hey, I've deposited funds, you should do the same, or uncopy and then recopy again. You need to take one of these two actions. I'll be reminding you all the way up until the event and after it, to make sure that nobody misses out, even if you've missed this video or missed the first posts on eToro. So apologies if you're one of the people that sees all of these posts and feel like you're being spammed, but it is just to make sure that all of you have all of the information that you need to make sure that this affects you as little as possible. I will also, of course, be answering your questions. I understand that you may have all sorts of questions about why I didn't do it a different way or whatever. I will be answering these on the eToro post, so that will be linked in the description of this video. If you have a question, feel free to leave it over there on eToro, and I will edit the first comment and put both the question and the answer in there so that other people can see it. If you have a question that you do not wish to ask publicly, for whatever reason, perhaps it's more to do with your circumstances, or you're thinking about using this as an opportunity to take some profit or to add some additional funds, and you wish to ask me that in private because of the numbers involved or whatever it happens to be, there are two ways that you can do that. The first is to go to my website, which is jaynemesis.com, scroll down to the bottom, and there will be an email form there. And if you type in your question there, I will try my best to respond to you quickly. The other option is to join the Discord server. I am very active on Discord, as many of my copiers already know. So if you come and join the Discord server, you can also message me the question in private there as well, and I'll do my best to help you. I think that just about covers it for those things. There's one question that I know is going to be asked immediately, so I wanted to address that straight away, which is, what about the people who are looking to copy me now? I've just been copy blocked. I'm about to be uncopy blocked. So if you're thinking about copying me now, what should you do? Again, there are two options. Option one is incredibly simple. You wait until the 1st of July, and then you copy me as you normally would, preferably with open trades, as that's what I recommend. Option two is that you copy me now with 66% of the amount that you intend to copy with, and then after the 1st of July, you can add the additional 33%, which would be 50% of what you invested at the start, assuming that I didn't make a profit or a loss. So it may be slightly different, so kind of try and leave a little bit of wiggle room in there, but it should be roughly accurate. I think I've covered everything. I tried to keep this video as short as I possibly could. I've actually recorded this video 3 times, and I didn't realize that Streamlabs, which is the software I use to record, had an update. It totally changed the encoder, and my voice sounded like Mickey Mouse for the first few edits. So this is the 3rd time I've recorded it. So hopefully it's more concise than the first 2, and you've got all of the information that you need clearly. As I said, if you're in any doubts, rewatch the video, check the blog post on my website, send me an email or speak to me on Discord, and of course, check the questions that have been asked on the eToro thread. This is not perfect. I understand that this is going to cause disruption and that many of you will be unhappy with the idea of being told to add more funds or to pay that additional spread of 0.5% roughly across my portfolio in order to uncopy and recopy. There's clearly going to be there's no way that I can please everyone with the method that I do this, but I believe that this is the best way to do it. I've prided myself on not adding or removing any funds from my account for the past 3 years because I believe that it can be misleading, and I plan to continue that going forward. And that's part of why I decided to do this as one big lump sum, is that I want to make sure that you guys can see very, very clearly what is happening and why it's happening, and kind of hold me to account on that. So hopefully this answers all of your questions, or at least all of the basic questions you have around it. If you have more, check out the stuff that I've already mentioned. Thanks for watching. Give me a like on YouTube for the YouTube algorithm. Everyone says that. I've not said it yet, so I thought I'd give it a go. Sorry. Very unprofessional of me, I know. I should probably have done like an edit or something, or told you to smash it. But yeah, please give it a like if you find this useful, or if you don't, give it a dislike. Go for it. It's not going to bother me too much. I am getting very sidetracked now, so I'm going to end the video. Thanks for watching, everyone, and I'll see you guys next time.